Hello, everybody. What is going on? Thanks for tuning in. This is Tidbits, and this is a show that I hang out with my friend Fuzzy Belvedere, and we talk about games coming out for this week. And wow, would you look at this list? This amazing list of games releasing for the week. There's two. There's two games. And now we all knew this was going to happen. We talked about it. So we're just going to kind of shoot the shit, talk about these two games a little bit, and then talk about holidays and all this kind of fun stuff, guys. So shout out to anybody watching live or after the fact. Appreciate everybody here on tuning into Fun Speculation. Side note, hey, there's a new feature on Spotify, everybody. If you listen to Xbox Ultimate, or if you listen to FSP, or if you listen to Fun Pop or PM in the PM, you can now leave a rating on Spotify. It's a long-awaited feature. Apple Podcasts has had this for a long time. We love Apple Podcast reviews as well, which we don't have too many of them, but we do love them. So, hey, if you feel like, you know, I want to rate this PM in the PM or Xbox Ultimate, any of our podcasts, it's much appreciated because it does help. So thank you, everyone. Shout out to 3-Bit. Hey, 3-Bit, how are you doing? So, Fuzzy, how are you doing, sir? Thanks for being here again, even though we don't really have any games coming out.
No problem. Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a pretty busy week as far as gaming is concerned in general, but man, if we thought 2021 was a monstrous year, 2022 is stacking up to be even more monstrous.
Absolutely.
But a lot of fun games out there, you know, having fun with Forza still, having fun with Halo, the gunk. I got to get back to Returnal on my PlayStation and stuff like that, but man, just so much fun. And Insurgency. I think I've expanded the group that are into it. Centurion's now playing, and I think he's got his brother and his brother's son involved in it too.
That's
so
cool, man.
Yeah, so anybody up for Insurgency, you know where to find me.
Yeah, we should. I need to play that with you, man. It's just like been playing Halo and Battlefield and all this stuff. You know, it's now Fuzzy. There's two games. We're gonna get through these games and then we'll get to some other fun talk, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Micah, what's up? Hey, first my heart, lovely wife, Caitlin. What's up, babe? How's it going? All right, Among Us Crewmate Edition. This is a physical release, I think, of Among Us.
Yeah, I don't know if it gives them a new map or not, but it's...
I don't know. It's not much to talk
for anybody
about.
that wants a physical copy, this is the way to go.
Yeah. If you want to buy a $5 game for $30, this is the way to go. You get it physical. I bet, I don't know, is it even physical or you just get a code in the box? I bet you just get a code in the box.
I'm pretty sure it's probably just a code. They're probably going the route of PC, because I don't even think you could actually buy it physical for PC either. So
yeah, I'm looking at the specifications. Like, I mean, it doesn't say. Like, guys, like, come on. Like, unless you're just like are Among Us stan, you know. Do you need this? Like, I'm just going to be honest. Okay, they have the Imposter Edition as well for $49.99. That's coming out in March. They have the Ejected Edition coming out in March. But right now, first is the Crewmate Edition. So, yeah,
see,
cool.
If they had like a custom console, like a custom Switch or a custom like Series S, because I know somebody did like a rendering of an Among Us Series S. I think that would be pretty cool at that point. It's like it's already pre-installed, you know. But yeah, that for anybody that didn't already download it or just wants at least a box for their collection, this is probably the way to go.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see like what does it include. That's okay. Here's the Crewmate Edition includes the base game and all of the DLC items, airship, Polis, and Mira headquarters skins, and hamster pet, bed crab pet, brain slug pet, stickman pet, and mini Crewmate bundles. A retail exclusive DLC. The 3D lenticular case by Hanako Lambert at Dual Wield Studio. An Imposter Syndrome sticker sheet by Alyssa Herman. One of 12 special Mira headquarter holographic access cards. Folded Skeld map. So they just filled it with tons of like shit. Like tons of like fan stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
A redeemable code for 6 PC phone wallpapers. I mean, you're getting quite a bit of stuff for that $30. That's not horrible. So that's what's releasing tomorrow, right before Christmas. I think they're trying to get that as a stocking stuffer / present, gift for the family, We have one new game release. And that is Lacuna.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of this. Have you?
No. And the big drawback is there isn't much info out there for it, with it being a new Switch release. I know I guess it released on PlayStation and Xbox earlier, but
well, what it looks like is it actually released on PC in May.
Okay.
And it's really technically not even a new game, but it is getting a PS4 and Xbox One release tomorrow, and then on the 28th coming out to Switch, which is very strange. Why didn't they just, it's a week difference. Why don't they just do the 21st? And if you click on the link, it sends you to a gamer chair. So, yeah, Digitales Interactive is the publisher. Publishers Assemble Entertainment. Developers Digitales Interactive. So that's it, man. Lacuna. Hey, I'm gonna have to Google this because there's like literally no info.
It's by Assemble Entertainment, right?
Yeah. It's got an 88% on Metacritic.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's a sci-fi noir adventure. I'm looking at it at GOG.com. It's on PC. It's $15.99 on GOG.com. And here's the description. So I'm just gonna close out of that browser. I
think it's kind of like a side scroller detective kind of thing.
Yeah. Basically it says, okay, so you play as Neil Conrad, CDI agent, awoken by the news of a murder. You rush into a case that will soon turn your life and the whole solar system upside down. Ask questions, collect evidence, and put the pieces together until the ugly truth reveals itself. The story branches and ends based on your actions. There's no going back. Sure, you can rush your way to the end if you don't mind paying the price. Play your cards right, and you might make it out alive. It's a platformer and with movement controls. It says, no, and it says non-repeating conversations and choices. Immersive, story-driven mysteries, optional outlines, or anything interactable can always be driven forward. The story can always be driven forward, and real choices and multiple endings. And it's got an 88% of Metacritic. So, hey, check it out, guys. Lacuna.
Yeah,
it's got that like retro look to it.
Yeah, it looks like a cool like investigator side scroller, like 8-bit kind of style to it.
Yeah, 100%. So Fuzz, like I said before, This was a slow week, but it is the holidays, right?
Mhm.
What are your plans gaming wise for the holidays? Like, what are you planning on doing, like gaming wise? Are you just gonna play more Insurgency? You know?
More than likely, that's going to be part of it. Some more Horizon 5. I got a few more cars to collect. I already got the gingerbread outfit. I got to see if we can get the Santa Claus outfit, but we got to, as a community, donate or gift more cars to people. And I'm pretty sure there's a few people that are probably tired of me donating like the cheapest car in the game.
Yeah.
To kind of, make that meter go up a bit. But I've actually donated some of the Horizon edition, Forza edition cars and things that I had duplicates of. So hopefully some people will enjoy those. But I tried, as I might, I tried to get one of my sons his Nintendo 3DS, a non-XL one, from not from eBay, but from like a GameStop. And apparently none of the GameStops in a 150-mile radius, believe it or not, have any on hand. And I didn't want to take the chance with eBay, so I had to break the news to him because he made it pretty clear he wasn't really looking for like a Switch, which I had a Switch OLED in my hand earlier today, so they are obtainable. But
Yeah.
they I got to figure out what I'm going to do gaming wise for him as an alternative type of thing. I think he, how we always talk about retro games and how we kind of like to go back to some of the older systems we played and things like that. I think he has that kind of nostalgia feel for like the 3DS and stuff like that.
Oh, really? He's got nostalgia for the 3DS. That's great.
I mean, for him, he's
yeah,
16,
no, it makes
so
sense.
it's like, but yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I'd like to play some of the older Pokemon games. The newer ones, they're all right, but the older
old ones that came out way back in the 5 years ago days. that kind of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
No, but outside of that, I definitely need to finish the Gunk. I want to see if I can wrap up the Halo campaign, and then I gotta see if I have any gaming gifts under the tree type of thing, because I'm kind of hoping some hints were dropped, or enough hints were dropped for like Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that, because I hear that's a pretty good one as well. And I got to convince either my wife or the boys to help me out and do It Takes Two, because I need to give that one a try. One game of the year. I gotta, at least like Christmas morning, I think, be one of those, all right, we're going to try this and see if we have a success of finishing the story, or epic failure and not make it past like certain boards and things like that. But yeah, those are the only written plans. Well, not even written, but the only plans at the moment.
Yeah. It's a good time, like it's a very chill. I mean, you're retired now, right?
Yeah.
So does this feel any like different for you now? Because back in the day, did you get like a nice break at the holidays, or
no?
I was
I was like part retail, part online or web based. So it was like retail. You pretty much only get like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day, and that was it. and a lot of times, because of being web based, it was like, oh yeah, you're on call. Oh, the site's down. Oh, the shopping cart's not working. Oh God, why do I have to do this?
Yeah.
But it was fun at the time, but there was not much downtime. Like I used to, and I think my company has since banned this approach. I used to save a lot of my vacation days so I could take every Friday and Monday off for like the months of November or December. It's like most people are like, oh, I'm gonna take a vacation in June. I'm like, no, I want from Thanksgiving on, I want every Monday and Friday off. So it's like extended weekend all the time. And the first couple of years they were like, oh yeah. And then they're like, wait, we're gonna have to put you on call for the site's down, or Amazon site isn't working right. And it's like, oh, so yeah. That's about the biggest difference. But yeah, it's a little bit different. Did some last minute shopping today. middle of the day. It wasn't as crowded as I remember way back. Like, but then again, it was usually like after 5 or 6 trying to go to like King of Prussia Mall. And it's like people were shoulder to shoulder trying to get last minute deals. And there's only like the thing that nobody wants on the shelf type of deal. So.
Yeah, like my kid doesn't want that. What am I gonna do?
I'm gonna get him this, and then I'm gonna get a gift receipt so he can exchange it, and hopefully they'll have more of the other thing in stock. It's definitely different this time around. A little more relaxing, but still anxious. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the kids unwrapping stuff. Looking forward to the wife unwrapping stuff.
Yeah.
And I always tell them I don't need anything. I already bought most of the stuff I want. So it's like, just get me Bailey's, some candy, which my wife already did for like anniversary stuff and other anniversary stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty much set. It's more about the kids and the wife at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool, man. Like we had a Christmas thing yesterday at my dad's, right? And it was a lot of fun actually getting all the family together and stuff. But like this is for us, and it's kind of always been in my industry. Like this is just a downtime period in the winter,
Mm-hmm.
So it gets slow, but then everybody kind of shuts down for about 2 weeks, So it's always been kind of like a nice break, and it's usually like the only time when we're really busy, it's like the only time where you get to just like kind of sit back a little bit, maybe go on a little vacation trip or something like that, And gaming has always been a big thing because it's been like a backlog clearing time also,
Yeah.
It's been so with COVID, it's like different though because it's like it hasn't been regular, So we've been able to do a lot more gaming and stuff the last 2 years anyway, But man, there's just still this next 2 weeks, man. It's like or next, I would say like 11 days or so, 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my favorite time of the year, every year.
Yeah.
It's like you look forward to it. Hey, just wait till the end of the year. It'll be great, Get to relax and play games and hang out with family and stuff. So, beat Halo. Have you? I know last time we talked, you still hadn't really stepped foot into that campaign yet too much.
Yeah,
Have you?
I'm still early in the campaign stuff. Like I did some more of the side mission stuff. Like I don't think I have any more Marines to save, at least in the first section. And I think there's only like one Spartan Corps that I haven't gotten to because I haven't figured out how to get there yet, and it's probably because I haven't either leveled up my grapple shot enough, or I need to get like the Pelican or something like that, or one of the Banshees or something to get up there, I guess. But yeah, that it's I want more like quiet time where the kids aren't like, I need the pin to update Tarkov, or I need more screen time for Call of Duty. Well, they're not even playing Call of Duty now. I think I think the last game they were playing was Battlefield for a bit, and they need more screen time for that because their college classes are done until the 20th, and they only have to go to school for like the half day for like their regular high school classes at the end of the day. So it's like they get up later, I take them in later, and then they're able to finish most of their homework if they have homework, either before they come home or by like within the first hour or so. So it's like they're getting some decent gaming time in because it's most of the kids aren't going outside out here, especially with the things ramping up. It's like, oh, we're having an increase in numbers of cases. It's like, but yeah, I gotta definitely tackle it. I've been putting it off too much. It's like, because if I wind up picking up another game, like if I do wind up getting Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, okay, I'm now like early on into 5 games and haven't finished any of them. So I gotta definitely dedicate some time to it.
Yeah, I want to finish Guardians. Far Cry 6.
Yeah.
The thing is though, like my wife always wants me to play multiplayer. Love you, babe.
Mhm.
And I want to also. And that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like I want to, and like we got to be on the same page. Like sometimes it's
Mhm.
like, because if she is in the mood to play some multiplayer, right? Then it's like, okay, like I should probably play some multiplayer now because like she's gonna be busy doing other things. But then
Mhm.
when I get busy doing other things, and then I finally sometimes I sit down to go be able to play something. It's like, who should I play? Far Cry, or should I play this, or should I play that? And it's like, no, Halo is what I want to be playing right now. I'm just gonna be
Yeah.
honest, you know. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to go and finish all these games that you love, and that's a good problem to have, though, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's I don't think we really had this problem years ago, but it's definitely a good one now. It's like, especially with stuff constantly coming to Game Pass, it's like, okay, I kind of missed out on this game and now it's in there, so I'm gonna try that. And it's like, oh wait, but I need to finish this one over here. And then like some of the games will have like either like the multiplayer ones in particular. I know Insurgency had like double XP, so I'm like, all right, I got to grind on that to get some more levels.
Hmm.
And then Forza's like, we're sorry, we had some issues here and there. Here's, oh no, actually it was, I think because they got one of the awards, they gave out like wheel spins. So I'm like, ooh, that's a nice little gift. So it's like, oh, I got 5 extra wheel spins.
Hmm.
And then actually got a couple of cars like I wanted out of that. So that came in as perfect timing. But it's like, man, it makes it so hard to like stick to one game and kind of finish it out when there's so many other good ones out there to pick up and run with for a bit.
I think my wife in the chat's making me feel like I just put my foot in my mouth a little bit. Shout out to you, babe. Hey, Jasper. I never thought you'd be the blame for my backlog. That's, shout out to Tony Grasso. Micah, when you gave that list of options, he says caramel frappuccino, babe. So 3-bit, black card, retro nerd. Thank you all for hanging out. Yeah, that's it. No, baby. So what I'm saying is that I want to play multiplayer with you also, and when you want to play multiplayer, makes me want to play it too, right? Because otherwise, I would be like switching up some more. But when you want to play multiplayer, it's like, okay, yeah, I want to play with you, so that's what we're gonna do. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what it is. Um,
Mhm.
so there is so much to play. It's crazy, especially with Game Pass.
Yeah.
Um, is there a one specific game that you haven't been playing that you wish you would have?
I really need to give Chivalry 2 a try. Like I bought it a while ago. One of my sons was like, "Oh yeah, I want to try it." And it looked like it would be like a ton of fun. And I think I did the tutorial for like a couple of minutes, and then
Mm-hmm.
I forget what game I jumped back to. I think PTK convinced me to hop on the Destiny or something like that, and I was stuck on Destiny for a while. I was like, oh, I got to grind up this level, and made it. I think I made it to like 1330, which it's not all that high, but it's because especially when I see a lot of other people in the community are like 1360 or 1370 or something. I'm like, oh, I'm getting there, but it's like I think I completely abandoned it. It's still on the expansions card and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it keeps staring at me like, play me. And it's like I gotta make more time for it. And then I think another one is Alien Fireteam Elite. Because I bought that before it came to Game Pass, enjoyed it. The gun sound spot on for the movie sound and stuff like that. So I was
Mm-hmm.
having fun with it. But by the time I think I picked it up, a lot of people were moving on to other games. So I played like solo for a bit. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna hop back over to Division. And then I don't think I've touched it since probably September, October,
Yeah.
like a month after it came out, type of thing. But yeah, those two games definitely want to get more into. Just I gotta peel myself away from either Forza or Insurgency or something.
Yeah. It's hard to, man. It's like that's what I'm saying. Like it's you get into these certain games and it's like they take up all your time, you know. Um so you guys, just so you know, like this is the stuff like when I'm joking around with her in real life, this is the stuff in the chat, you know, this is the stuff that she'll say to me too. And she'll be like she's not holding back. She's not playing around. That's just what she does, you know. So I love you, babe. Don't ever change. Shout out to Brian. What's up, Brian? How you doing, man? It's good to see you back hanging out in some of the chats and stuff, Brian. I know you've been having a lot of stuff going on. And it's good to see you kind of getting back out there a little bit. So looking forward to when your shows come back in a few months.
Yeah.
So Fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
What game is your best memory of playing at the holidays? Do you have one that comes to mind?
It's going to probably sound corny and silly. It used to be back in PlayStation 1 days for whatever reason. And like beyond, because I kept that console hooked up to one of my TVs for a while.
Yeah.
It was some sort of Die Hard game. And I think it was because
Die Hard
I'm one of those that believe Die Hard is kind of a Christmas movie. It's not a traditional one, but it fits the time of year.
It had Christmas music in it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it was one of those games I would play during the holidays because it's like, oh, it's Christmas time. So it's like, oh, and I just have like the weirdest memory of it, just like purposely shooting all the glass, jumping around and stuff. But it was always like a game that I would at least fire up at a couple of times during the month of December. It was like, all right, it's the right time of year. Let me fire it up, put the PS3 aside, fire up the PS1 and play some Die Hard. And it was always like a go-to for the holidays. And I know it's a bit of a weird one, but it was before the kids were born and stuff like that. So it was like, okay, I'll go ahead and enjoy this. This is my version of a holiday game. And I think more recently, what's that other game? Don't Starve or Don't Starve Together. Because like my wife is big on that one, and she'll have like a whole base set up with like the cooking stuff and the crafting stuff. And it was like, oh, let's play in the winter time. Let's make the winter, a little bit longer, set the fire and all. Like it was more like we were playing creative mode because I think she got tired of the spiders killing her type of deal. Like because she would always try to get something like the eggs from the spiders, and they're ruthless. They'll come out in like packs of like 5 or 10 of them or something and follow you pretty much all the way back to your base. It's a fun game. It can be a bit frustrating if you don't prepare for the dark, because it's like in the darkness, random invisible beasts come out and they'll attack you. So it's like if you can tweak the game where you make it more of like a creative mode where you make the night shorter, you're less likely to die from stuff that you can't see. But then the other thing is, if you don't eat properly or sleep properly, you start going crazy. So those night beasts will follow you during the day.
What?
So like it took us a while to figure that out. It's like you have to put like a wreath of roses or flowers around your head so that keeps your sanity. Because if you go insane, those shadow creatures come in the middle of the day and they like hide behind the trees and reach out and grab you. And it's like, what the heck? Why am I dying? Why am I taking damage? Oh, the shadows are attacking you. But that was like a weird fun game that me and my wife would play during the holidays.
That's like a great time. So basically to not look insane or to not be insane, you had to look insane.
Yes.
By wearing a wreath of roses on your head.
Yes.
Okay. So you go up to your wife and you say, hey, you won't be insane by wearing these, and you're safe.
And I think I have to like grow a beard or something. Like for the one of the male characters, you have to like grow a really long beard,
right?
And wear like a fur coat or something. But for her character, she has to wear like a wreath of roses, and it's like, oh, it keeps her from seeing things that can reach out and attack her and stuff. But yeah, it's like if Minecraft, it's not really like Minecraft, but it has, in the creative mode, it's kind of like a Minecraft-ish thing where you can kind of build the world out. It's just that it has more of like almost like a hand-drawn cartoon aesthetic to it, like the look of the characters and the creatures and things like that. So it's pretty unique.
Nice. Yeah. That's like two interesting picks. I don't have, like, I don't know if I've ever played that Die Hard game, but I actually kind of want to, so I have to look that up. But for me, because I love my wife, just gonna say that again, babe. It was we used to go to Vermont every year for Christmas, because that's where she's from. See,
nice.
Vermont, right? So she's from Vermont, so we used to go there every year for Christmas, and we would either drive from Texas, just fucking beating. That was a beating. But like, I couldn't afford plane tickets back then. It was just too expensive. And one year we even went by Greyhound Bus, which was the worst mistake we've ever made. Like, in our entire lives, if we won't ever say, do we have anything we regret? I regret taking the bus that year. But we didn't have any money. I mean, we were a young couple, like, and
yeah, when you're starting out, it's
like, it was the cheapest way to go. Like, and I mean, it was.
Yeah.
And I'll say the ride home wasn't as bad. The ride there, it was so damn brutal, man. It was insane. I mean, there's like crazy stuff happening all over the place. I'll get to the game in a minute, but this is reminding me. So, like, it was just a beat down, like the seat's uncomfortable, like the entire time, and you're on this for like 30 plus hours,
Yeah.
And like, they stop at these bus stations, right? And then sometimes there's like 4 hours you have to wait inside a Greyhound bus station for the next bus to take out to show up to, and then a lot of times it'd be late or whatever. But some of the freaking characters and stuff, like, I mean, we said the bus stopped outside of a White Castle in Indianapolis. It's for us to be able to get some food, right?
Yeah.
And like, these guys kept coming up to me asking me if I had any ecstasy. And I was like, no, I don't have any ecstasy. Why are you asking me? Like, it's like, do I look like a drug dealer? Like, I don't know, like, why you would come up to me and ask if I have any ecstasy. Do I know you? Like, we're just outside of a White Castle, two strangers. Like, I felt like I was in a Harold and Kumar movie for a second. Like, it's fucking weird, So, and there was like other weird stuff, like, man, it's just bad. Anyway, like, one of the years we were in Vermont, because I always would bring a game console with me, and we had our Wii, I think, the Nintendo Wii, and we got Super Mario Brothers Wii, right? The first one where you, like, it had Mario and Luigi side scrolling and co-op, right? And we played through the whole thing there in Vermont, and that was an absolute blast. Like, at Christmas time, yeah, it's just fun. We had a great time playing that, because it was, not a lot of other stuff to do. You know what I mean? At night, after her parents would go to bed and stuff. So, like, we played that, and it was a fucking great time.
Nice.
But hey, everybody, do not take a Greyhound bus across the country. If you get back with all your bags, I'll be amazed. We did not.
Oh.
Yeah, our bag was stolen by a Greyhound employee.
Oh, great.
Yeah. It was in their warehouse. Eventually, the bag made its way back to us with about 3/4 of the content missing. but
Great.
eventually, it took about 6 weeks later, to get it. maybe actually maybe longer than that, maybe like 3 months.
Mhm.
And the other weird thing is, don't expect like the same route you would take if you drive, because they got to go based on like destinations, So imagine that, Texas is here and Vermont's here, or
Mhm.
it's backwards for you guys, but Texas here, Vermont's here. Now, on Greyhound, you go here, then there, right? So we went all the way to freaking Atlanta, Georgia before we went north.
Oh, wow.
So that was fun. But you know what? We made it and we had a great time when we were there. So, and Jasper also says, and don't go to White Castle. I'm not a huge White Castle fan. And I have to say, Jasper, when we used to drive to Vermont every year, some of the times I was scared the most was when I was in Kentucky. Because there were some characters staying late at night, in the middle of the night, in the lobby at some of these hotels we had to stop at. And like, you just didn't even want to walk in, but you know what I mean? It had to do it. Yeah, Tony Grasso says he took a Greyhound to Athens, Georgia when he was 15 to see a Green Day concert. It was a terrible experience. Well, I hope the concert was good. Because that Green Day was awesome. I'm just also back then. I don't know how old you are now, but it sounds like that was a long time ago. Kate said they literally stole her underwear out from the luggage. Yeah, they did, and I was like all her beauty products and all that stuff. But we got to go, for Christmas, so that was a thing. So anyway, like, yeah, Nintendo, Mario. Kate likes Mario. I like Mario. That was back when Nintendo had a console. The good old days.
Yeah.
The good old days when Nintendo made gaming consoles. You remember those times? You've seen them dozens of times, Tony? I'm jealous. I've never seen Green Day in concert. Micah says we got rated. Yeah, a little bit.
In my shopping earlier today, talking about Nintendo with consoles.
Yeah.
One of the Best Buy employees made an interesting aside note. Now, I know he doesn't have any inside info, but we always kind of wonder what's Nintendo's next move. Do they go back to making consoles? Do they stick with the portable stuff? And the Best Buy employees' thoughts were, maybe they go VR, like almost like a built-in console, like not like that Game Boy VR that they did years ago, but almost like a headset, like that with the console being built into that, almost like a Vive, but with its own, chip reader or something like that to play the games itself, which I could kind of see Nintendo trying to take that leap again. But who knows how soon of a time frame they try and do something like that. But
yeah,
that would be an interesting take or an interesting next move for Nintendo. Like we're moving away from portable, we're moving away from home console, we're going VR.
Yeah, Nintendo always does stuff out of the blue. You know what I mean? So it's like whatever you think they're gonna do, it's never that. You know what I mean? Like it's always something out of left field. Now they're having so much success though with the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that might start to get to them, and they may be afraid to veer off course from that?
Yeah, like I think the OLED is even kind of evidence of it to some extent, because everybody was like, "Oh, Switch Pro, more powerful, more up to date," and they're like,
Nope.
We'll just update the screen.
How about a better screen instead?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing, that like they're doing great. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People love them. My nephews love their Switch. Lots of kids love the Switch. There's lots of adults that love the Switch. you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they're obviously doing something right.
Oh yeah.
And you can't like sit there and like say, "Hey, you're screwing up, Nintendo." Yeah, that's not what it's like about for me. You know what I mean? What it's
Mm-hmm.
about, and I forget. I think I was talking. We were on a show with yeah, it was an Archimedes show with Ains and Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Boomstick and Wandering Dutch and
Nice.
the other day, and I think Ains had talked about it. It is maybe in the green room, even I'm not sure, but he was like, kind of said the same thing I had always been feeling. It's like not about that they're doing anything wrong. You know, they're not doing anything wrong necessarily. It's just that they're not doing anything for me anymore. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like when I say and I criticize Nintendo, it's not a criticism of their business model
Mm-hmm.
as much as it's a criticism of leaving a lot of the gamers behind that they used to make products for, right? They used to make games for, and
Yeah.
there are a lot of us out there that feel like we kind of got left behind from Nintendo. That they didn't make when they decided to make the Switch, and they're sticking with it this long and not doing anything else besides that right now. It feels
Yeah.
like this is more for that handheld gamer
Mm-hmm.
and that either retro gamer, that handheld gamer, and stuff like that. Not necessarily the console guy that just really likes that whole experience, you know, because they
Yeah.
were making strides and innovations with the Wii's, right? Wii U failed.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of
I
it
think it
was
was just messaging more so
messaging
than
and
anything.
marketing. You know, they didn't
Yeah.
really showcase it as a new console. In fact, they never even showed the console at like E3 and stuff, really. Like, I remember, like, the first thing they showed was the gamepad, and that was it. And everybody
Mm-hmm.
was like, is that, they thought, I think a lot of people just thought the Wii U was the gamepad, which was an add on to the Wii.
And I was one of those. It was like, because back when I picked up my PS3s, it was easier to get a PS3 than it was a Wii by a
Yeah.
long shot. So I picked up PS3s and I was like, oh, I still want to get the Wii for, my niece and her sons and stuff like that. And yeah, I just kind of I didn't really lose interest, but it was like waiting at Toys R Us for hopefully a FedEx truck to show up type of thing with them. I was like, yeah, I'll just wait until they're readily available. And then they were like, oh, the Wii U. And I instantly thought, oh, that's like an updated controller. Oh, so you have the screen on the controller? Oh, that's
Hmm.
kind of cool. But then don't I still need to buy the Wii to do that? And me not really being a Nintendo person at the time, that's kind of the thought I had. And I was like, I kind of played that peripheral, game with Sega with, my Sega Genesis and the 32X and the Sega CD and all that. And then like a week later, they came out with the Saturn. And then it would seem like a couple of months later, they came out with the Dreamcast. I was like, yeah, I'm not going with the whole peripheral thing for like the next step and stuff. But yeah, it'd be nice if they made consoles again, uh, more than just having it in like console mode with a dock type of deal. But
Yeah.
they're still killing it,
Yeah.
no matter how you look at it.
And even if they don't, like, what my hope is for the next Switch or whatever they call it, right?
Mhm.
Is that it doesn't have it can be this crossover thing. I'm not against that. I do think a side effect of that is always not being able to push the boundaries of power like a
Mhm.
Xbox or PS5 or Sony, Xbox or Sony does, right? But that, I mean, they don't have to. It's Nintendo. But
Yeah.
over time, like the limitations become more extreme than having a less powerful console still. You know, because like a less powerful handheld is way worse than a less powerful console, right? Because the Switch is, in my opinion, probably not even as good as the Wii U as far as graphics and stuff go, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like it's like a horrible thing, right? It's just because a lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's a Nintendo game, you know, like, or they make great games and stuff, and I agree with that. I think they do, 100%.
Yeah.
But um, there's a certain point that they need to get to, I think, with either within the handheld crossover style or coming out with the console where they meet that a certain level of fidelity that is acceptable for a long time. And the Switch isn't at that for me.
Yeah.
You know, the Switch is like too far behind for me on that to where it actually affects my enjoyment of the games, right? Just because it looks grainy, that there's low quality texture detail and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't have to be like, I'm not looking for a freaking graphical powerhouse, right? But if a game like, you know, Metroid Dread or Xenoblade Chronicles or something like that comes out, I want it to look as good as it can be, right?
Yeah.
And putting something on a platform that is dated to be like an old mobile device, you know, like from like 6-7 years ago, is not really pushing any kind of, it's not even meeting like really today's standards at all of even mediocre fidelity and quality, right? So they can achieve that with a crossover, a new one, right? But they gotta like meet a certain level, and then that comes with feature sets too, because in my Wii U, even with its failings, overall as a whole package, is the best console Nintendo's ever released, because they had back compat for everything with the Wii. They had the controller support from the Wii stuff. They also had the gamepad. They had the whole Nintendo store where you could buy retro games, right? They had tons of feature sets. They had the whole Miiverse, right? All that stuff. They had so much stuff going for it. Amiibos and stuff came on with that and everything. The only issue was marketing, messaging, and also they didn't have any games to put on it.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it is it's one of those things where once smartphones start surpassing it power wise, it's probably time for it to do a bit of an upgrade. Now, I don't know if a $500 one would fix it type of deal.
See, I don't even think they need that, you know.
No, I think somewhere between the $300 and $400 mark, you could probably get an updated NVIDIA chipset. And I think the big thing with NVIDIA that people were kind of imagining for like a Switch Pro is DLSS. And I think that would be like that stopgap or that in between where, yeah, it's not full 4K, but it gives you an upgraded sense without it, you know, taking away all the horsepower or needing as much horsepower to have a pretty good image or pretty good image quality in general. I think that's kind of where they probably should have gone. But once again, I'm kind of on the outside looking in as far as Nintendo. That's what would have lured me. I mean, that's kind of what made me hit that add to cart button for the or at least the pre-order add to cart button for the Steam Deck. But yeah, like for me, there's only a handful of games that I can't get anywhere else that are on the Switch that I would be like, oh yeah, I would be willing to pay somewhere between 3 and 4 for it. And then it not, I wouldn't say it would hurt my eyes, but if I can look at my Pixel and get better images on that than the console, I mean, sure, the Pixel costs more, but still, it's like,
yeah, but it does a lot more. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
The console's like, a PC does a lot more than a gaming console too. But you know, a PC that plays games as well as a Series X or PS5 will cost you a lot more than a Series X or PS5. You know what I mean?
True.
It'd be about $1,000, $1,500 or so, right? Or more. Yeah, actually, probably 2,000, 3,000 with the cost of graphics cards right now. So, like, as far as like the Switch goes, it's kind of the same concept. They're built for one purpose, right? With maybe some enhanced purposes on there as well, like Netflix or whatever. But that helps cut the cost on those things, right? And also helps make it more streamlined. And that's what one of the benefits of console gaming's always been. But I will say that the size is also always going to be a detriment to the pricing, because the smaller things get, the more expensive they get also, you know?
True.
And it's weird to me that the Switch came out in 2017, I believe, 2016, 2017, and it's still the same price. And now that's one thing that Jasper was saying, would a Switch Pro for $500 fix that problem for you? I don't think a new Switch needs to be $500. I think they could produce a more powerful new Switch and still sell it for $300 and just phase out the old one.
Yeah.
The problem is they didn't do that. Instead, they just put a new screen out on the existing Switch and charged $50 more for it. So, I mean, and there's a lot of apologists out there, like for Nintendo and stuff. And again, like this is not me saying they're doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's just I want better for me.
Yeah.
You know. So we'll see. You know.
Yeah.
Didn't mean for this to get a Nintendo rant, but I do have hope for that because I would love to play like whatever the newest next Mario comes out, right? I would love if Breath of the Wild 2 was on a device like that, a better Switch or a console or something as powerful as a Series S or anything, just because you can. It would be better. The game would be better.
Yeah, run smoother.
Yeah,
higher frame rate. I mean,
third-party games would be better.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell me that like with all this back compat that Xbox is doing, that you haven't played an old game. If you've played one of these old games that's gotten like updated graphics and updated resolution and FPS boost, that the games don't feel better and play better and look better.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely play better and feel better.
Better hardware makes the games better. It just does. Yeah. If they were to develop for a more powerful system, and when I say more powerful, again, people take that out of perspective. People think, oh, they're not going to do like something like the Series X or the PS5. No, they never have. Nobody's asking that for them. But more powerful than the Switch, not very difficult to achieve.
Something more powerful than last gen consoles.
Yeah,
that's the big thing at this point. The chipset, I think, is a good bit behind what the Xbox One and the PS4 would be. So
very much so. The Xbox One S and the PS4 were way more powerful than the Switch.
Yeah.
And those came out in 2013. Right? And I could argue like because the Wii U actually came out before those, right? And was kind of like a hybrid in between that generation and the previous. And I think personally the games looked better on the Wii U than they do the Switch. And also the Wii U had more features. It had all this other stuff, but it wasn't a handheld, right? So when all these sales charts come out, you know what I mean? They're all like, oh, the Switch is like doing amazing. Look at the Switch. Look at the Switch. Well, so did the 3DS. So did the 2DS. So did the DS. So did the Game Boy. So did the Game Boy Advance. You know, all of those Nintendo handhelds have always sold like crazy, right?
Yeah.
The Switch is selling like a handheld because guess what? It's a handheld. So when you can't do comparison, just because it can also be docked as a console, you can't do sales comparisons to Xbox and PlayStation. It's just not like, it's not the same category, you know? It would be like Xbox including like cell phones as like cells to their Xbox hardware now because people get to play games on mobile, you know? Like, doesn't work that way, right?
No.
Yeah, Micah says Switch is 2 generations behind now. So we'll see. I have hope. I mean, they got to do something. I think the chip shortages are delaying that, right? But I hope maybe they'll learn that, because I think it's hurting the game development, right? Like, I'm hoping the game developers that work for Nintendo are like, hey, can we get something better, please, to make our games for? Because this is like crazy. We're trying to fit this stuff on this thing. You know, like and they do a great job.
Yeah.
You know, they do a great job. Innovation shouldn't come out of the necessity for extreme compromise. All right. We'll move on past that. It's the holiday season. It's time to be cheerful. No regrets. No regrets. Shout out to everybody watching. Sub Alex is a Valve. Again, Jasper, Tony, Pong. I saw that DM, Pong. Did they say that live on air? On Xbox too? Because Pong just sent me a DM that was pretty exciting.
What's up?
About Age of Empires.
Oh, I know Sarah Bond had posted about like congratulating them. I think they got an award as well outside. Well, no, they got, it was about the Game Awards award that they got, and I think I replied, you know, congrats, and be like, hey, it'd be nice if they, bring it over to console, soon, type of thing. And I just have that gut feeling that it's probably going to be something in 2022 that we see. I don't know when in 2022, but it would definitely be nice to see it on console.
So Pong sent me a DM a little, almost an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
Said that he'd asked Rand and Jez about Age of Empires 4 console coming out by end of 2022. And, like Jez hears things, because of he's Windows Central and all that kind of stuff. And, Rand can be, here's some things too, like both great guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Xbox 2 podcast. And Pong said both, because he put both in all capital letters. So I'm trying to emphasize that both we're very confident in saying would see it within first half of year.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't know if that means we'll see it like as in like an announcement.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see it, or actually release. We'll see, because it is, if it's easy to port to Series X from PC, then all they got to do is implement a control scheme and stuff. I could see it not taking forever, but I'm really curious about it. I really hope so, because I think that game deserves to be played by everyone. It's great. Yes, released. It says released in the first half.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm gonna say. I'll make a prediction, Pong. I'm gonna say August. It's not first half, but I'm gonna be like a little bit more like tame on my expectations on that. But they must have heard something, I'm guessing, though. I don't know. That's crazy though.
Yeah.
Released in all caps.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell Pong's excited about the possibility of this?
Oh yeah. I know he loves RTSs, so yeah.
He says Gears Tactics took 7 months. Okay.
Mm.
So when did Gears Tactics release? In like October?
Mm-hmm.
Originally, or September?
I think it was, well, on Xbox, I think it was within the first month or two after the launch of the Series X. So
right,
we got it January, February. So it had to have been sometime like September-ish, or maybe even a little earlier, that it must have come out for PC.
Okay, I need to look up Gears Tactics PC release date. Gears Tactics release date PC was April 28th, 2020.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so Gears Tactics, Gears Tactics is like another one of those backlog games. I need to finish it. It's a great game. Yeah. I love it. Console release. We'll see like what the exact time was. Pong seems to be November 10th. So it took them less than 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm starting to believe this, Pong. Because April 28th to a little over 6 months. Like 6 months and a couple days.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
part of that may have just been the timing aspect with the console launch and stuff.
Yeah,
So
it
they
could
probably
have.
had it ready. It's just that it's like, oh, let's not release it until enough
Yeah.
people are able to pick up their Series X and S.
Well, there was that Italian magazine that where they said in an interview that now that the game was out, they're going to start thinking about how to move it over to console, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was like right
Yeah.
after it released. Okay. So how long has it been out now? Like a month? Something like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe they'll get it done and get it out in a few months. You know, it's possible. I mean, they got control schemes to go off of, and maybe PC and keyboards, mouse and keyboard support would be good as
Mm-hmm.
well, for sure. Um, all right, so Buzzy, thank you for always doing this show with us. I know there's like no games coming out this week. You know, there's like one, but
Yeah.
it's just still fun to kind of hang out and shoot the shit and
Oh yeah.
talk about stuff. Um, you do besides gaming, you doing anything fun the next week or two?
Going over to the kids' grandparents' house on Christmas Day.
Nice.
I think because of COVID, they haven't gone as frequently, like during the summer and stuff, as we would normally like to bring them over to them and stuff, just because they're up there in age. So trying not to take any chances and whatnot. But yeah, everybody is got their shots, and yeah, we're gonna make a road trip, visit both of their grandparents and stuff like, or both sets of their grandparents on Christmas Day, and they'll get spoiled by the grandparents. They'll get spoiled by us like probably the day before or that morning, and then they'll get spoiled some more
Yeah.
when they get to their grandparents. So I know they're looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, with my wife being a teacher, she's got some downtime now, and I guess the winter break for school, and kids will have their, I think Wednesday might be their last day this week.
Oh yeah.
I gotta double check.
Oh, so they're
Yeah, I
still in
think they
school right
get,
now. Okay.
yeah, I think Wednesday is like that half day or last day for the season type of thing. And then they come back like almost 2 Wednesdays from now, for at least for the high school. The college doesn't, because they're doing the dual enrollment thing. They don't get back until the 20th of January, I think.
Right.
So they're happy that they got some extra resting time after having a hard time with three courses for the first part of the year. But they're doing good, so they deserve all the spoils. But man, this was awesome. It's always awesome chatting with you about games and this hobby. And man, next year,
Yeah.
as Pong
It's gonna
says,
be
the golden
nuts.
age of gaming.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm most excited about though? Like thinking of like gaming wise and just the community and like
Mhm.
all the kids and adults like that are gonna get gaming consoles for Christmas. You know,
Yeah.
this year. They've been like the hard to obtain things. You know,
Mhm.
and we've even gotten rid of some of our consoles and sold them to um people because they're like so in demand, and it's like um I have some of my 1S's that I sold, and they were like
Mhm.
a mom, and when she bought it she was like, oh thanks, I just really like been want my son's gonna be so excited for Christmas and all this stuff, you know, like
That's awesome.
you know, like it just like those things, like there's gonna be so many um kids wrapping up these consoles and stuff,
Mhm.
and like I said, adults, and gonna have that like warm and fuzzy feeling of getting that, you know,
Yeah.
thing for Christmas. Like I posted a picture of me when I was like 13, maybe something like that, opening the
Mhm.
Nintendo 64,
Ooh, yeah.
you know, and that was like such a those times you always remember it, like the feeling you had when you saw that you actually got something. You actually got one, right? You got a game console,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? Got a freaking game console. Like you ever watch that like 8-bit Christmas or whatever with that new movie that came out with it's about kind of people kids all trying to get the NES,
Hmm.
back in the day. Um
Yeah.
it's just it's a special thing. I don't know, like a special thing with gaming, I think, in a way. Because I
Hmm.
just always think back to those memories, like you got the console and it's like you got like maybe two games,
Hmm.
and then you just sat there and you played one and you played it for hours, and then you switch into the other one, you played it for hours, and you switch back to the other one, you play it for hours, and it was just like amazing. Um,
Yeah.
those times. So I hope all those kids out there and dads and moms and
Hmm.
everybody that got to get or is getting a game console for Christmas or holidays or whatever you celebrate.
Hmm.
Hope you have a good time with it. It's amazing to think too, like Series S is actually becoming obtainable
Yeah.
because it's like they don't have to buy games.
Yeah. Just getting like
Just Game
Game
Pass.
Pass or there's like some of the free to play stuff. Even they could get access to Apex, access to Fortnite and stuff like that now, and not even really need live for it as well. It's definitely a special time. Like I remember my first console, and pretty much I think it hooked me ever since, and got my kids hooked on gaming. And I think my whole family, although my dad wasn't like a console gamer, he was like the portable, like the old portable Nintendo
Yeah.
uh, ones. That's what he had. Like there was like a fire one, like a firefighter one. Played that, but it was like, yeah, now is the time. Everybody can, instead of everybody being on their cell phone, yeah, everybody can game together in in the house. But
Hmm.
it's one of those memories that kind of lives or sticks with you, and you pass it on to family and the kids and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great shared experience type of thing.
Yeah. Last night I saw my nephew get Pokemon, one of the Pokemon games. He unwrapped it
Mhm.
at my dad's house, and he was like so excited. You got a Switch, loves it. You know,
Mhm.
so the kids don't care. You know, they don't care. It's me. You know,
Yeah, it's they just enjoy the game. It's
yeah, exactly.
the console war stuff comes later. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
100%. I'm just glad they get to play. Um,
Yeah.
lots of fun times to be had over the next couple weeks, and I hope everybody here. We are gonna have Fun Pop on Wednesday,
Mhm.
and there will be no PM in the PM, no Xbox Ultimate, no FSP. And next week we may do Fun Pop as well. But probably not be a Tidbits next week because
Mhm.
I would imagine there's zero coming out. Like I could not imagine a game a
Yeah.
game coming out next. Maybe there will be. I don't know. But I think it's gonna be a nice little fun time. Look out for some
Mhm.
videos coming out as well. Again, like I said at the beginning of the show, when nobody was watching. Hey guys, Spotify has a new feature to rate podcast. So to any listeners out there, if you listen to Xbox Ultimate Podcast, if you listen to Fun Pop, if you listen to FSP or PM in the PM, hey, take a minute to go to Spotify, look it up, and leave a rating if you don't mind. Appreciate it if you're a listener. And other than that, guys, it's been real fuzzy. Where can
Mhm.
everybody find you, sir?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere, on Xbox Live at fuzzy space Belvedere, and PSN fuzzy_Belvedere. Probably playing some racing game and first person shooter game. But man, look forward to next year. Look forward to FSP in the new year and Tidbits
Yep.
in the new year. Always awesome being on here with you. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of it.
Glad you are, man, and everybody that's taking part in any of our stuff and all the chat. Everybody appreciate it. Appreciate you all. You rock.
Awesome.
You make all this worth
awesome.
it and fun. You know, that's it's a blast. So, guys, like I said, fun pop. This is gonna be. We've been talking about it in the DMs, and there's no way we can talk about Spider-Man: No Way Home without spoilers. There's just no way. There's too much stuff to talk about. So we're having a spoiler cast for Spider-Man: No Way Home. We're gonna give our reviews. They're gonna be spoilery as fuck, right? So be prepared for that. There's gonna be lots of spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, if you have not seen Spider-Man: No Way Home, go back and listen to Fun Pop after you have, right? But I'm going to make sure I put plenty of warnings up there like we did last week for Hawkeye episode 5. Because we just have too much stuff to talk about. We have not really dove deep with each other about it yet. So I can't wait. So Fun Pop's going to be a blast. And looking forward to that. And then we'll see everybody around. Game streams will happen as well. So you'll see me here live playing games. So have a good one. Thanks again, everybody in the chat. You guys rock. Bye-bye.
Later.